And we
sure.
we haven't even seen a rendering yet. They have
They
just
have a rendering of what the cabins will look like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got the picture right here. I'm looking at it.
I mean, I feel like it just goes
This is
with
why
what
I
I was
didn't want
saying.
my
Like,
wife on the show.
yeah.
Welcome, Walt Disney World fans, to another episode of the Notcast, presented by NotClub33.com. My name is Steve Rhodes. This week on the show, we're talking Disney Vacation Club. What in the heck's going on with this thing? I'm joined this week by Amanda Burchins once again.
Hello.
Becky Wells is here.
Hi.
And so is Bobby Burchins, the Disney Cynic.
This time, I promise you, I'm not going to say or shit in the first minute.
And again, folks, if you're at home,
Getting bleeped.
hit that like button because
screen.
that has really messed up the algorithm there with the early
Has it?
cursage. Yes, big time. Oh yeah. DVC, Becky, you're a member of the Disney Vacation Club.
Yep.
Some interesting happenings going on. First, out on the West Coast, kind of no surprise, the villas at Disneyland Hotel are going to be opening, and they will not be accessible to people who have resale contracts, and people who buy resale contracts at the villas at Disneyland Hotel will not be able to access any other property besides that property. This isn't a surprise. They did that with the Riviera at Disney World, but what do you think? As an owner, as a resale owner, how does this bode for something like the Polynesian Tower? Do you think that's going to go in the same direction?
I feel like they're trying to set this crazy precedent, and it's interesting because when they added on at the Villas like Grand Floridian, they right away said that it's going to be part of the same association, like immediately. Then they announced the Poly Tower and still haven't given any indication one way or another because they said, like the guides don't know. And that's fine. But nobody, I guess I don't know anybody that thinks it will be part of the existing condo association for the Polynesian, but it would be nice because that's a pretty big property that took them 7,000 years to sell all of their shit because of those stupid bungalows. Sorry, I just ruined the algorithm too.
No, you're good. You're outside 2 minutes.
Oh, okay. I don't think it's going to be good for people who already own at the Polynesian to think that if they purchase after the January 19 or whatever, 2019, to be able to use, if they purchased resale after January 2019, to be able to use their resale points there. I don't see that happening. I have no idea, but it seems like they're finding all these different ways to add another tier almost of like exclusivity. Like they all of a sudden, for the first time in a really long time, lowered the minimum buy-in from 150 points to 100 points right before they announced the Disneyland hotels, villas, whatever.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, people in California that want to buy that property in California, you don't need that long at Disneyland. Like most people aren't going to be like, I'm going to go for 2 weeks. That's not happening.
Right.
So because it's just not the same amount of space, reason to be there for that long at a time. And so they've lowered that, but those people are not eligible for the membership extras. So to get the perks that everyone else gets as a direct buy, they still have to buy 150. It's like so many levels of things to keep track of. And I was like, you can't even they can't even get it right in the app to be like the Y or the ND or the whatever for your showing what your classification is as an owner. And so let's just add more. So it's direct purchases, those poor guys to try to explain everything. I can imagine the salesman in that, in each of them is like, just going to glaze over all of it and let them read it or not read it because there's 0% chance I can explain all this crap to anyone. So
it sounds,
Amanda's face says it all. She's like,
what
sounds like
what the hell you're talking about? Like,
it sounds like they've messed this up. And we were talking off camera about, what are they going to do when Boardwalk and Beach Club start expiring in 2042. I mean, that's 20 years from now, not even.
Mm-hmm.
And they've
And
already
Boulder
extended.
Ridge that they just redid,
Yeah, they've already extended over at Old Key West. They extended those contracts to push those later. But that could have been a mistake. And are they going to do the same thing at Boardwalk? Are they just going to let it expire, then rehash it in 2043 as instead of Boardwalk Villas, the villas at Boardwalk Inn, and say it's a different thing?
Right.
And then now resale people aren't eligible for that. Like,
right.
I mean, where is this going? Like, in your mind, Amanda, what do you like? The little that
I
you
have no
know
idea.
about this, yeah.
I know so little about making the vacation club.
Yeah.
It's always been just like this confusing thing, and it sounds like they're just making it more
Worse.
confusing.
Sure.
And my head hurts. Like, I have no idea what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to wrap your head around a lot of this and a lot of the goings on. Like, why were you building a Marriott next to the Polynesian and calling it the Polynesian Tower? Like, it's nothing to do. I know, Bobby, you want to that's going to be the place you want to own just because of your hatred for the
because it
Polynesian.
pisses you guys off. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
However, it would, see, he's in a like hard spot here because it would piss y'all off, but it would make me extremely happy.
that is a very frustrating.
You can't have that.
No,
Yeah.
no, I
Heaven
can't.
forbid.
I
That sounds
can't
like a
have
win-win.
joy in my life. I'm like, what are you kidding me? No, absolutely not. Listen, here's the thing with Disney Vacation Club. You just if you're buying it for the perks, if you're buying it for the ability to resort hop to all these different places, that's all well and good, but that's not what you're supposed to be buying it for. You're supposed to be buying at a resort because you genuinely like that resort. That's where you're supposed to want to stay. That's why you get an 11-month booking window at the home resort, right?
Yeah.
And only 7 months elsewhere. Okay, so if you're going to buy a Disney Vacation Club contract, it doesn't make sense to actually buy it on resale if you're genuinely wanting to stay at the Poly Tower or at the Copper Creek Cabins or wherever it is that they're still selling direct contracts to at this point. I mean, I get it if you want your home resort to be Boardwalk at this point, but you have to walk into that contract situation knowing that you're only going to get 20 years, and you have to accept that deal on the front end of it and not expect for them to extend it, because that's the deal that you are walking into and bargaining with at this point.
Yep.
In 20 years, by the way, guys, like, we could be talking about them tearing down the Boardwalk entirely into doing something completely different, because God knows I mean, it's based off of New Jersey, so there's probably some bodies buried underneath the Boardwalk anyway.
Just put a bunch of alleys. Yeah.
I'm surprised
you and I
not
saw a
letting
rat
people
run
as it is.
across
They
the
keep
damn
taking
thing.
away all
So
the Jersey charm.
Yeah, add some real Jersey charm into some Snooki and what
They
what
got
was
rid of
that?
the clown
Those
pool,
guys
so
in the Jersey
now
Shore? Yeah.
I'm just
they've
saying
already
though that
started
like
slowly erasing all of the things that make it be Jersey. Like,
if you're going to buy anything, this is the salesman in me in general. If you're buying something, you buy that thing because you want it, not because of all the other extra, or the tertiary benefits to something like that. You want that one thing. If you don't care about, price or any of that kind of stuff, you are buying something because you want that one thing. You shouldn't be price shopping it left and right and worrying about whether or not you got it for a point per night cheaper, or excuse me, a dollar per point cheaper or something like that. Buy the contract that you want. Buy the resort that you want, and then just stick with that and worry about, if you get anything else out of it, cool, great. If not,
What about
then the tough shit.
Okay, so I guess we'll change gears here on the DVC, because I mean that's pretty logical from what you're saying, Bobby.
God forbid I come back with the hard stuff,
But let me ask your wife this: now that the news broke recently about the cabins at Fort Wilderness going to be DVC somehow, what do you think about that? Like, is this a DVC level property? Like,
this
is this somewhere
resort.
that you would? Yeah.
This is a moderate resort.
Yeah.
I like Fort Wilderness. The first trip I ever took, was we stayed at the cabins. So I
Mhm.
love Fort Wilderness, but I'm getting concerned now that we're moving into the moderate resorts. Are we just going to make every resort a DVC resort at this point? Like, is that the goal? And
DVC
that
All Stars,
worries me.
baby. Yeah.
But that worries me because, then you have those of us that aren't DVC members, or, how does that, because there are times where we can't stay at, the DVC resorts, even on cash,
Yeah.
so how is that going to work if we start making all of the resorts DVC resorts?
And you can only stay at that, at that
Yeah.
resort because unless you buy direct, which
Right. Right.
I mean, it's a slippery slope. Becky,
The number of people who are really excited about those cabins,
I'm excited.
Generally mind-boggling. I love that they're going to refresh them and make them better.
Yeah,
but
I'm excited
the
about
number
that.
of people who are happy that they are all going to be DVC. I can't figure it out.
They should just be regular, nice cabin hotel rooms that you can buy from the company on the website. Right. It should not be a DVC. It's not even, there's no DVC amenities there. It's a freaking moderate resort, and you're going to sell me a timeshare. Like, no.
Hold on. You say DVC amenities, all right? Beach Club is a perfect example. I love the Beach Club. We all know that I love the Beach Club. Okay, what DVC amenities? I grant you the pool, right? Best pool on property. But what restaurant? What lobby? It's not like the Beach Club has this breathtaking lobby.
It's attached to the yacht club too.
DVC, but even the DVC lobby,
Cruise Cup, all that stuff. Yeah.
Even the DVC lobby of the Beach Club is nothing to shake a stick at or anything like that. It's like a little rotunda, like that's like 10 square feet. Why
all the DVC libraries are like that? They're all smaller, but they share amenities with the property that they are attached to. The property that this is attached to is sharing amenities with RVs.
So God forbid, hold on. So we're saying that Disney can't add a restaurant and can't add a better pool over at Fort Wilderness. They can't. They're incapable of it. They had a whole fucking water park over there, for Christ's sake. I'm pretty sure they can reopen some of that stuff.
No, yeah, we can just jump in that river, in that lake.
There may be some concerns about that.
Yeah, I think so.
You will be banned. And
I'm not with this one at all. I think they should definitely refurb those cabins, make them nice, charge for them, but make them just part of regular.
The price they cost already, they should be
regular hotel inventory.
Listen, Disney is not. They're back. They're trying to price out like some of the lower end stuff. Anyway, we see this with the annual pass stuff. We see this with tickets in general. We see this with all the skyrocketing prices left and right on everything from food and merchandise and just in park everything with Genie Plus. On top of that, look at Coronado Springs. That's a moderate resort that has rooms for $900 a night.
Yeah,
it's not. Let's not
also geared towards business travelers.
And that's always been geared toward business travelers.
But let's not pretend, though, that Disney isn't focusing on a strategy of trying to appeal to the middle class with inflation and the upper middle class and frankly, the upper class. That's who they're trying to appeal to at this point. They're not trying to appeal.
Where's the line for DVC then? Like, where are we going to stop doing this? Like, are we going to put it at all the moderates too?
I genuinely think that some of those moderate, like Coronado at this point, deserves to be in the conversation for DVC.
Coronado's a deluxe.
Only the tower. The rest of that place sucks ass. Like, absolutely not.
Offer it for 6 points a night.
I'm fine with the pool. The rest of it, no, sir. I'm good without the internal bus bullshit. No, I'm out.
Yeah,
the tower's beautiful.
Go again with the buses. Get a car. It's fine. It'll be okay.
Yeah, go rent a car.
You rent the minivan I need for my family.
Yeah.
Versus I could take a bus for free.
$750 a day for a car rental in Orlando. No, that's not happening. I just think that I think there's just a lot of inconsistency with the product offering, and I think that there's just not a real direction over in the DVC wing of the company.
I feel like this is kind of because they were supposed to do the DVC resort over at Fort
The
Yes.
Wilderness.
reflections. Yeah.
That they moved
Exactly,
it
that's the
over
first
and
thing I said.
apologized. I think this is them trying to make up for that. I think is what this is. They
You
had
gotta have something in
And
nature.
we haven't even seen a rendering yet. They've literally
no, they
just
have a
said,
rendering of what the cabins will look like.
Yeah.
I'm looking at a
Rendering's
rendering
out.
right now.
Yeah, the rendering's out.
how
Currently
long-
looking at the.
Okay, then fine.
Got the picture right here. I'm looking
This
at
is.
it.
I mean, I feel like it just goes
This is
into
why
what
I
I was
didn't want
saying.
my
Like,
wife on the show.
yeah. I
Well,
feel
when
like
Pat's
all
on
the
sabbatical,
different tiers that
yeah.
they're adding in, it's like you don't have the IT support to add 2 tiers, much less all these extra random flowchart areas for nobody
Okay,
can keep
also-
track.
Oh, that just gave me a whole different thought. Going back to your thing about the Disneyland villas, is this going to be tiered in with discounts, or is this going to be priced too low to be able to get any of the perks because
Right.
you're in the moderate tier of DVC and you're looked at as a second class citizen
Yeah.
because you're staying at a campground?
That's the whole. Yeah.
Yeah, how is that gonna work? Because
Oh Lord.
again, this is a moderate resort
Well, the
that we're
point.
about to
I
make.
bet but I bet the point cost is going to be pretty freaking high because like you
Oh,
can fit
yeah.
6 people. Bullshit. You can fit 6 people in them right now. It's a fucking double bed and a bunk bed with a pull-out couch. And hopefully you don't have to walk because you can't get around. Like, absolutely not. But I bet if they're not changing the footprint of these, they're just refreshing them. How in the world are we fitting
Yeah.
6 adults? It's that's psychotic.
It better come with the
I mean,
But the
golf cart
points
rental.
per night, I bet, will be pretty steep, which means
But
those
I'm also
contract
wondering what this
minimums
is
are
going to
gonna
do
be big.
for the campground rentals.
Yeah, I know.
Because if you're staying at a DVC resort with the
Your pinky's
cabins,
gonna start down here and go way up.
are
as
you going to
drive
really
past.
want the people who rent the campsites near you at that point?
Yeah, it's going to be like no tents allowed.
Bunch of
Nice
assholes.
RVs
Right.
only. If your RV is more than 10 years old, you can't park
Nope.
here.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my
what are they
gosh.
like?
I believe
What are
it's
they
called
going to do?
glamping. Glamping is what I believe it's called.
That's the direction it seems like it's
People
going.
are horrible.
Or on the DVC side, you're going to get short end of the stick because you don't have the nice lobby and the nice pool that you would get at a DVC resort. So
Right.
they're either
I
going to
don't know.
have to
That's what you want,
overcharge
though.
campers or piss off the people that are buying contracts. So, and they're not going to piss off the
Campsites are
contracts.
already so expensive. I remember, like,
Yes, $100 a night
tent
minimum.
at Disney World. It's like,
Yeah.
that's
Yep.
mad. But I know a lot of people are super amped because they're going to make some be able to have pets. Some
Yeah, some
really
of them,
means
yeah.
all, because you
Dog
tell
friendly.
me how they're going to keep that separate.
Wait, are you?
Once,
Well, they already have
It's really
some
easy.
over at like Art of Animation, and I think
oh no, I know, but
French-
I think once
French
they
Quarter,
do
I
these
think,
as,
also.
as DVD,
Yeah.
like, unless they make that a separate point category for
Are you?
pet rooms.
You tell me those cabins aren't all pet friendly right now?
No.
No.
What the fuck?
The only resorts right now that are pet friendly are, I think, one of the French, I think it's French Quarter and Art of Animation.
I'm not worried
Yacht
about
Club,
actual
too.
hotels, but everything at Fort Wilderness should be pet friendly. Like, change that now, like tomorrow. Like, that's stupid.
I mean, the campgrounds obviously are because you're bringing your own room with you, but
No, that's absolutely ridiculous. You're in a freaking campground. Everything, yeah.
But yeah, the cabins right now are not. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Well, okay.
They don't want to clean up squirrel shit and dog shit.
God. I can just imagine our dog there with the amount of squirrels now.
Chasing them around. Squirrel. Yeah. Well,
Cooper's vacation.
that'll be one of your reviews at some point on Cynics on Disney podcast. Is
Sure it will.
your goal of the show is to review everything at Walt Disney World. So
Yep.
tune in to the Birchins
Bobby doesn't
podcast.
look amped.
The aforementioned name Cynics on Disney podcast. The information for that is on your screen.
I can
And
write some
for
of
us
this
here-
off, right?
I'm not your tax expert, but I think you can. For us here at Not Club 33, you can help us out by hitting that like button. It's free to do so, and also subscribing because that really helps out our channel. If you want to know when we upload more videos, hit the notification icon, and that will tell you when we drop a new video. For everybody here at Not Club 33, have a great day.